I had a whole bunch of other topics, some interesting topics to discuss, with Andrew Wilson, today's guest. And Andrew, I'm really, really thankful and glad you could join us today. I hope you're doing well. I know I see you've been making the rounds. Saw you're on Timcast the other night, and then you travel back this morning, and now you're.
I was home late last night.
Was it last night you were on, or Monday?
Monday.
Yeah.
I flew out. Yeah. I fleau out Sunday.
Hey,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just saw you weren't live on Rumble, but now you are. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it takes like a minute. Yeah, so that's always fun. I tuned in for that, and then that's when I realized. I think when I was like, oh yeah, he's not. I was like, wait, how's he gonna? He's gonna have to fly out late, and then he's gonna. I'm like, oh, maybe he'll be on the show from the, live from the
plane,
hotel
live from
or
the airport.
something. Yeah, live from the airport or something like that. But for people that don't know, I'll wait till for people to shuffle in here, and then I always like to give people an opportunity to let folks know what they're up to, where they can find them, and all that kind of good stuff. If people have been living under a rock, we had yet another trans youth go into specifically a church service of students of a Catholic church in down Minneapolis. This was a white male who identified as female, whose parents let him change his biological name before he was 18, from Robert to Robin. So it seems like supportive parents. We have his manifesto. We have all sorts of stuff to discuss.
You mean supportive in the way that they supported the transition?
Yes, like it. Right.
We say that socially supportive parents will stop any sort of wrongdoing. That's obviously not the case in this shooting, as with all the other ones.
Yeah, I read the manifesto, and it was actually pretty kind. It was like, this person apparently had good friends, good family, loved his family, was trans, probably on SSRIs, I'm going to guess. Who knows what other potential hormone stuff they might have been on. And, essentially created a copycat of the Nashville shooter from 2 years ago. I believe it was a year ago in Nashville. Same target, same, what, obviously everyone's going to rush to politicize this, but I think the one, factor that is, there's one factor. If Luke says it's MK Ultra, which I'll let him talk to. But I mean, I will say that, it seems like we have a really high percentage of trans lunatics, violent lunatics in the past couple of years. My question is, I'll kick it to Andrew, just get your initial thoughts on everything that happened today. And, but I wonder if my theory has always been well, if being trans was the hot cultural thing when the Columbine kids did it, they'd probably have been trans too. I think there's something demonic or related with the people that are doing this. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on? I mean, I know the news is fresh, but what do you think? What's going on with this?
Well, I mean, these are mentally unhinged lunatics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really much more to say right now. We don't know much. There's a manifesto which is out there. I was seeing a lot of that on Twitter, and apparently some videos. There was apparently some videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's real fresh. We don't know much about it, and it'll get buried in the media in about a week.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of tomorrow, probably.
Yep.
I also think we would never have known that they were trans, a trans pro-Palestine person, if they didn't out themselves. I'm left thinking, boy, it sure was convenient that this lunatic uploaded everything to YouTube, because now we don't have to spend the next month. I mean, if you saw what happened in Nashville, Nashville protected that shooter's identity to a level of, I don't know,
They really did like go out of their way to try and suppress the manifesto. I mean, I think it's the Tennessee Star was doing a lot of reporting on that manifesto in particular. And I think Andrew's right, you know, things will disappear, but how many times does this have to happen to religious schools before, you know, somebody decides that this isn't something they're not going to accept anymore? I mean, what was striking to me about this was that it's the first day of school. They're attending. It's a Catholic school. They're having their K-8 opening mass for the school year. It makes me wonder how many of those parents are going to be like, we're homeschooling. We cannot keep sending our kids to places that are becoming targets to crazy people.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very few, right? So
yeah.
The case is that schools are daycare for children. So, and it's free daycare. So they're going to keep sending their kids to free daycare so that they can work and get by and this type of thing. So not much is going to happen on that front. The truth is that the trans ideology has completely taken over on the LGBTQ side. It's all anybody ever talks about. They don't even bother with gays anymore, really. They don't bother with the lesbians anymore, really. They really only hyper focus on this one kind of issue because they're the most mentally ill, crazy whack job troons on planet, and people don't know even how to deal with them, right? They don't even know how to deal with them. We don't even know what the rules are for dealing with them. And so the interesting part here is like, I don't think that this will stop at all until you start locking these people up, putting them in mental institutes. I don't know what else you can do with them.
I agree.
What else can you do with them?
Yeah, well, there's a big there's an argument. Go ahead, Luke. Yeah,
I think there's three kind of universal truths, even though the news hasn't really come in yet. There's a lot of unverified reporting happening right now. There's still even unknown number of people that are casualties or injured here. We still don't know a lot, but I think we know three things. One, you can never go wrong when homeschooling your children, and there's excellent resources out there for that. Two, you should always know how to defend yourself. I think these type of mental illness cases are going to dramatically keep going up, especially with how the left has a huge mental health crisis that I think is only being exacerbated by the fear mongering and sensationalistic type of news coverage that the earth is ending, climate is going to destroy you, Trump is going to imprison you. All this type of nonsense I think is not going to aid well, and it's not going to be addressed or stopped here. And then three, I think we got to be careful of the copycat effect here, because if you look at his manifesto, you look at his videos, he pays tribute to other school shooters. He pays tribute by not only writing their names on the magazines, but there's also one specific section where there's the Sandy Hook shooter, and I don't want to mention their names, I don't want to show their faces, but he's seen petting an image and paying homage and respect to the Sandy Hook shooter here, who obviously is very infamous because his pictures everywhere, his name's everywhere. So I think we got to be careful with the copycat effect here. Those are my kind of truths here from this type of event. The details still clear.
How can people be careful of the copycat effect? I mean, that's been out since Columbine, right? So, because ever since Columbine happened, the idea that you can just walk into a school and just liberally begin mowing people down has been there. There's not anything you can do to buffer against these effects except to have guns. That's it. That's the only buffer that people have is you got to have a gun, and you got to kill them dead the second they open fire, and you hope that they get few enough that you can take them out first. That's basically it. There's nothing you can do to buffer against this, and there's nothing you can do.
I think you can.
To stop these to stop the insane people. Now, the thing is, though, is like what's really funny here is we do have one thing now. We do have one thing that we can profile, where we can point out, okay, not only are these people weirdos, but maybe we should keep an eye on them. Mm-hmm. No, maybe you should keep an eye on them. Now, what was the motivation, Jeremy? What did they say? What did the Troon say the motivation was for shooting up the school?
That, well, they thought they had cancer, lung cancer, because they vaped too much. And then that they have simply always wanted to do this, that it was their final act. And that, you know, the manifesto, from what I read, and I have it pulled up and it's all typed out and stuff, but like, there's not like, this is for Palestine or this is for, it's just, you know, I'm living in pain. I have depression. And this is how I've been dreaming of going out. That's what the manifesto said. I can pull it up here in a second.
It wasn't bullying. It wasn't the lack of acceptance. It wasn't any of this. It was just, I'm a crazy fucker, and I'm gonna go into this place. Why did the Troon say why they selected that place in particular?
No, but I did find his mother did work there and had retired from there a few years prior.
So knew the layout probably.
So knew
Yeah,
the
and knew
layout, knew the
school
schedule.
patterns,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. And basically like he wrote like, you know, he was depressed, obviously. I assume all these people are, or they convince themselves that they are. And but yeah, in his goodbye letter, like what you were saying, you know, what you were alluding to before is that, or you were providing better context. But everything in the letter seemed to be like, well, I just had to do it. I didn't have any other option. I just had to do this.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, he shouted out Brandon Herrera. And he was like, Brandon Herrera for president and this, that, and the other thing. I'm assuming that's a troll because in the video, I mean, we can watch the video, but like the video is weird in that he's clearly like a zoomer and he's just like saying memes like skibbity and stuff like that. But like it seems like a pretty just a normal dude who got obsessed. Like there was that shooter in Wisconsin that
The female
basically
one?
what's that? The female
Or
one.
you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
the female
yeah.
one?
Yeah. Who became obsessed with school shooters, and it seems like this guy did too.
Did he kill himself also?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah. So
He
following
brought a
the
special
normal
gun.
trend. What was special about it?
Well, he brought a specific gun to off himself. I don't know. If there was something special to him about it, but yeah, he's a part of the 47% now, or whatever the percent is that people say, or that
I
is
thought in the
true.
manifesto he was describing how he's going to put the knife in his heart.
Well, in the video, he said that this one's for me, and I'm gonna, off myself that way. Now, he did die of a gunshot, but maybe he also stabbed himself. I don't know. I think stabbing yourself is very, very, very hard to do. I remember famously Elliott Smith did it, and I really liked him as a musician when I was young, and I was like, it's hard to overcome like the will to serve, like your body's kind of core will to survive. That's why people use guns, because you can just pull the trigger. But like stabbing yourself, I think is a pretty hard thing to pull off.
Yeah, this Brandon Herrera thing is super weird. I mean, there was also a magazine that had the words written on it, sponsored by BlackRock, which also is super
and
strange and weird here. So I think, if we're looking for any kind of coherent understanding from a mentally ill person, I don't think we're going to get it. I think, not showing his face, I think is going to be, in my opinion, important. Focusing more on the victims, I think also is a little bit more.
I respect that, but I like showing their faces because they all have the same look to me. And I think if we get better at pattern recognition, like I could look at this guy and be like, I'm going to stay away from him.
Well, they have the blank, soulless stare, and there's also a lot of kind of evil, satanic type of messaging that was also inscribed onto the rifle as well. So, evil is just, I think, also an easy way to kind of describe everything that's kind of happening here. Demonic is another. Some people will automatically say it's satanic, but I think it does take a certain level of evil to do those type of particular actions, and it might be an easy kind of generalization, but I think that one is true.
I mean, Hannah Claire, what are the odds of you homeschooling at this point?
Oh my gosh. Well, there are a lot of factors that go into that. I think homeschooling is great for a lot of things. I would be sad if parents only did it out of fear as opposed to just being like, it's a cool way to give opportunities. What strikes me about this, of course, and knowing that the gunman, his mom worked there, and so therefore he knew kind of the traditions of the school, like, to pick a school that is K through 8th in the middle of a religious service where everyone's going to be gathered into one space, it's just so cowardly. And if whatever this claim is, like I have cancer, so therefore I'm going to die so other people should, to fulfill my own ego or my own psychotic desires, like it's just so messed up. You can't really apply logic to crazy people. And if you wanted to send your kid to a religious school, I wouldn't stop you. But it's sad that this is now going to be a fear that, like, if you opt to send your kid to a religious school in a city, you would just need to have one lone, vaguely attached lunatic who decides that their needs are more important than anything in the world. Because that was true of the Nashville shooter too, right? The person had gone to that school as well.
Well, didn't we have another church attack like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? But they had an armed guard there, and then they had somebody else who like ran him over, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was at a church. I mean, like, sorry, I don't know if I'm interrupting someone.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
As you say, like there are different organizations, and I could name them specifically, but they'll go out of their way to say like, here are the attacks on our types of people. Like the ADL does this, and they'll conclude that there are all kinds of white supremacy motivated attacks in the US. But I would be really curious to see, as much as you can, an accurate study of the attacks on religious schools and churches in America, because it's increasingly, to me, seeming like it's not an extremist from another religion, but people who are fed and indulged in their ideology, thinking that they are in the different body. And I think once you begin to say like, oh, we accept you, you open the door for this kind of thinking. I mean, if this person is saying, I have cancer and this is how I've always wanted to go out, so I'm going to do it, like, what a horrible, selfish thought process that's obviously been indulged their entire life.
Yeah, let me bring up this manifesto quick. And we are going to talk about other stuff too.
As you pull that up, there's been 5 major kind of trans shooting school events within the last couple months that I think are worth talking about, because I don't think this is an anomaly. I think this is a trend that I only see being exacerbated here. But we had the Nashville school shooter, the Aberdeen school shooter, the Denver school shooter, the Iowa school shooter, the Lakewood school shooter, all being done by trans individuals. And I think this type of behavior and this type of drugging and giving hormones, especially to young children, creates a lot of unstable situations. And I think this is one of the byproducts of the left normalizing mental illness. And I think that's the issue that's very difficult to talk about, but I think it needs to be talked about in a rational way now more than ever.
Well, what is it, the chicken or the egg, do you think, Andrew? Like, are crazy people more likely to be trans, or are trans people more likely to be crazy? Like, it seems like this is, I mean, as a percentage, now, if we really include if we define, mass shootings are different than school shootings, right? There's a mass shooting every weekend in Chicago. But these like kind of planned statement events, like, is it just happenstance that they also seem to always be trans, or is there something maybe more sinister going on there?
Well, they don't. Like, the left is going to argue this out, and their argument's going to be, well, it's actually a small percentage of all of these shooters which are trans, but there's probably an overrepresentation of them which are trans, if you take it into like its per capita size, I would assume. The thing here that's really interesting is, I'm kind of reading through the manifesto, you have to remember that the entirety of trans ideology is defined by self-loathing. The entirety of it is defined by self-loathing. The whole thing is that you hate yourself, you hate your body, you hate everything about you, and so you need to change it, right? That's kind of the idea. The thing is even in this manifesto, this person starts off with self-loathing. I spend so much time staring at the mirror. When I do, I see something staring back, short-hunting. I hate that monster. I hate what I've become. I wish I was someone else. I wish I had never been born. Giving you the self-loathing glimpse into what it is that they actually think about them. So do I think that they start as crazy people before they move over to being trans? As far as the chicken and the egg, I do. I think that they start with the idea of self-loathing, and that begins to take over the mind.
Yeah, they even say specifically, like, I wonder how the news will report my attack. Will the school system even acknowledge it? Well, obviously, I assume they will. This isn't religion. It isn't politics. There's no message. That's the message. There is no message.
Yeah, and I do this for chaos.
Right. I did this for me. This is what I wanted to do. By the way, I accidentally started 2 separate YouTube streams at the same time, so I'm going to disable one of them right now. So if your stream ends, just go back to the main page of the YouTube channel and join the stream. I did that again. I did that yesterday because I'm trying to stream out to like 10 different spots to promote like this week and give our guests a big platform. So let me do that quick. So if yours ends, it's still on the same channel. It's just the other stream now. What do you think? So yeah, so basically he also used the Cyrillic alphabet. Spent a lot of time. Like when I looked at the manifesto too, it was extremely well written. Like really, like they wrote it in the Cyrillic alphabet, but like it was very. I mean, the penmanship was really good. It was really thought, not a single scratched out word.
It's obviously a labor of really sick, twisted love. This is
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Wanted.
Like, this isn't like he crumpled it up, put it in his pocket. There isn't a single correction on any of the pages. It's 50, 60 pages long.
Well, you don't want your legacy to look like shit, do you?
Yeah, no. I suppose maybe he probably just ripped out the whole page and started over if he made mistakes, you know, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you definitely wouldn't want. This is the thing that they're going to find. This is the thing that's going to be shown. You can't have your penmanship out of control. You can't have scratched out words, right? I mean, that would be going a little far.
If this wasn't the first draft, like if this person wrote it all out in one notebook and then was like, not good enough, or my penmanship's not good enough, or whatever, and did it again, like it seems a little bit obsessive to me.
Well, there's one interesting point here that I see looking at it is the page numbers 56, 57.
Yeah.
Right. So the pages are numbered. So obviously there's 55 pages before this of likely other insane writings from this lunatic, which will probably never be public. What I'm curious about is if there's a 58, 59, 60. It's even dated. It's even date stamped at the top. Right. It's like, so this is exactly where you can always find it. Oh, that's a great catch.
Yeah. He wrote it on 8/16.
Yeah. It's between 56, 57. And here's our date stamp for it. Like you're going to know all the information is there for you to reference as quickly as possible. Why? Because it needs to get in front of the media. It needs to get in front of streamers, like is what's going on right now. Influencers. That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I mean, to honor Luke, I mean, I had the video. If you'd rather I didn't play it, I'm totally fine not playing it. There's lots to talk about today, but he did upload like an 11-minute video where he goes page by page by page by page. So like it will get in this case, it actually will get out there. And I think that's important. I think your point, Andrew, too, that like this dude wanted it out there. And that's why he like scheduled the YouTube videos to release, because those videos are never going to get taken down. Like they're going to be on the internet forever.
Well, and people,
it's your call. It's whatever you want to do here specifically. I don't like telling people what to do. I did see it on YouTube originally, and then YouTube took it down, but then someone else re-uploaded it. Now it's also on Twitter. So it is being shared around pretty wildly.
Well, I think we can skip it. I mean, they did this. Well, you mentioned the MK Ultra stuff.
Well, this was just in private conversations of what I was talking to you as there's.
Oh, should we not talk about that?
I don't want to talk about it publicly.
Okay.
I was just sharing a private comment of my own personalized speculation and theoretical thinking that was just thinking out loud and not something I want to publicize or talk about now at this particular moment, as we still don't know exactly what's going on here.
Can you go back to that first picture, Jeremy?
Yeah. This one?
No, the first one that showed.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah.
This one.
Okay, gotcha. So it looks like an AR platform was used, right? So that'll be the demonized portion.
Yep.
But again, even on this, it's actually really hard to write on a gun.
Yes, it is.
Very good penmanship here for somebody writing on a gun, isn't it?
That's what I'm noticing a trend here. Like this is extremely legible, extremely photographic, and again, like this person filmed all of this before to make sure it got out there. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were like, well, the last time one of us did it in Nashville, their message, I don't know if we ever even got what that woman wrote on that gun, her guns. We know that there was writings on it because we could see it in the police body cam footage.
See that, you see up there at the top where it says bull?
Yeah.
You see how there's drip under the B? It makes me think that this was done with white nail polish or white.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Or I was thinking like a paint pen or something like that.
Mhm.
but it's pretty nail polish wouldn't be bad because it's pretty like paint pen's thicker. Like
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
a
that's
fine
very
point like
thin.
that.
That's
Yeah.
very thin lettering. So then there's some drip off of the B, which may, and also down there in the D, you can see the drip on the back, and it makes me think that it went over to the nail polish. Oh, I have white nail polish.
Yeah.
No, or
And
I
it's
have
still
white out.
incredibly steady hand. Like, look at the McVeigh here. Like, perfectly written, even the small C like you're supposed to,
Mhm.
and like extremely
And look at
legible.
the two capitals, right?
Right.
Even remember to put in two capitals for a proper name, which is something that I wouldn't do.
I wouldn't either. I certainly.
Yeah, same.
I
I
also
think there's a
noticed
lot about this situation none of you would do.
I probably wouldn't do a school shooting, yeah. But the there's also I noticed I saw so he had like some anti-Jew stuff on, but like so did a lot of these shooters. And so like my initial thing was like, oh, it's a Free Palestine person. But like that's also something that I see. Like he had N Donald Trump on his, but he also had
Endorsed Brandon Herrera, who's like a Republican.
Yeah, endorsed Brandon Herrera for president.
Yeah, but the anti-Jewish coalition of dissident right wingers also want to end Trump's career, right? They also
That's
think
true.
that Trump is a
He's
Israeli
a
shill,
Israeli cuck,
and he's completely beholden to him. So the other thing is McVeigh also folds into that message pretty nicely. That's something which is widely talked about inside that community as well. So thing is, it's like I'm not seeing necessarily that the messages conflict. They do look a little bit memey. I agree with that. Look a little bit memey. And it also could be that this person in their insane craze on the way out wanted to frame up the dissident right for this,
That's
which is
what I
something
thought
which
too,
happens
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Especially from the crazy leftoids. They do this constantly. Leftoids are usually the first ones who are in the chats saying the N-word and talking about Jews and this and that purposely in order to get various channels struck or to bring out the worst elements on the internet. So it actually wouldn't surprise me if this person was an online troll. That's what this looks like to me.
Yeah.
Well,
But we're,
yeah,
I think we're getting too much into the weeds because he shot up a Catholic school, right? I think we have to not really just get lost by the kind of duplicitous kind of weird messaging, but understand he went after school children that were specifically religious and believed in Jesus Christ.
maybe.
And God.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out here is motivation, right?
Yeah, we know that people choose schools because they're soft targets and because they make, a big impact. But we don't know that he had anything against Christianity. I mean, by his own writings, he had a great relationship with his mom and his dad, and his mom and his dad supported his transness. And, he went out of his way to say in his goodbye letter, this isn't about religion, I'm going to show a little bit of it because I just want to show
peace, love, unity, and God.
This his goodbye letters, I love you, mom, I love you, dad, I'm sorry, blah blah blah.
Babs Blue Ribbon,
But he's just like a memester. He reminds me of a 4chan guy.
Brandon Herrera for president.
This is why I think you need to get as many teenagers off the internet as possible for huge amounts of time during their developmental years, because some of it is yes, tons of memes, and maybe he's trying to target one group or maybe not, but also this person is clearly begging for online infamy because this is all they know. It's like the worst consequences of
This would
having
be
a
something
generation
too.
that's raised with screens. Sorry, keep going.
I don't know these names. Do you guys? There's the names of. There's 3 names here. Aravir Holmes, Lanza.
Actually,
No.
I think you're wrong. I think that there's 6 names there.
Oh,
I don't
wait
think
a
that
minute,
that's
this
first
is
and
last
last
names.
names. I think that these are all
Oh.
first names, and that's why you see Adam Lanza as the second. That would be
Oh, okay.
Adam Lanza, right? The shooter. So I would assume, and same thing with Holmes. That's another shooter.
Oh, these are
So-
shooters' names.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I think these are shooters' names, and that these are sequential. These are all first names. So he's actually writing 6 names there instead of
Okay.
instead
Good
of 3.
catch.
Now I could be wrong, you know what I mean, but that's what it appears to me.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I think you're right, because Whitman's the Texas Tower shooter.
right. Yep. Then he has kick a spick. Like, okay, so he doesn't like Mexicans. There's so much like weird stuff. Like,
I mean, that's kind of funny.
I mean, it's kind of
Kind
funny.
of funny.
Well, I hate to admit it, but like when I watch this video, the guy's kind of funny. Like, he's like unironically, like he's like guaranteed he's on like 4chan memeing, and like he reeks of a guy who grew up.
You see on
like
the back there, right on the back of the receiver, it said, "Do you believe in God?"
Oh, I saw. Yeah.
You may not remember this from the Columbine days, but that was the famous line which came out of that. "Do you believe in God?"
They said that.
Said yes. They shot you, right?
Yeah.
That was the big thing that came out of that. So this all seems like just now. This is the first time I've seen any of this, so this is just a cursory take. Just it all seems between the magazines and the messaging that actually what all of this is a shout out to other shooters.
Yeah.
This is all like a big shout out to other shooters.
Well, the shooter apparently said this was their dream way to go out, so I'm sure they didn't do it with no research. It's not an original thought. It's just an obsessive thought.
Well, this is the same thing that happened in Wisconsin.
Mhm.
He also wore a KMFDM shirt, just like the Columbine shooters. And the Wisconsin girl, same thing. She had like pictures of school shooters like in a locket or something like that. So these people, what's wild is like he's got the N-word on here, not a hard R, but like a lot of this stuff, yeah, like this is just some weird schizo anarchist guy, is my guess, who also happened to be trans, just like literally every other one of them. He's got videos like reading instruction manuals from washer and dryers, like very weird stuff. But he does when he like does in his manifesto when he talks about his parents, like I'll just finish with this part because also I don't know what this is. This is him like going through his book, but it looks
nice.
Hey, rewind that, Jeremy.
Yeah, this is the church, I think.
Right from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So remember that first book that we looked at, the pages were numbered 56, 57.
Yeah.
If you look at this book, though, there's multiple blank pages before he gets to things that are actually put in here, which makes me think that 56, 57, that first book may not be the actual last pages.
Right. Or it could be like,
Haha, nice.
yeah, so he's got the church here. I mean, not really a pretty crude drawing, but and then he's like,
He just
living
wanted
up.
to draw some ovaries, Jeremy.
Bands
right, yeah. And then this says, beards, what the hell does this say? Bands and artists I like enough to write down.
Yeah.
So he's like, these are all my favorite bands. And again, so like, I don't know.
I noticed that the penmanship there is a lot worse.
It's a lot scribblier, a lot more. You know what I find? I think his penmanship on his manifesto and on his guns looks very female. And then like this looks very male.
Shit.
Like men.
To me, it reminds me of like when you are writing a school assignment, intentionally trying to be clear versus like you actually are brainstorming. It's like two different notebooks. One to just like idea dump horrible
one
things,
for
and one to be
publishing.
discovered. Yeah.
Yeah. He also says like in one of his, like in his goodbye letter, like, don't read my journals unless you really want to. I'm assuming his journals is full of like, depraved sex stuff and all that kind of stuff. So he does go through, this is page 98 and 99.
99. Now, what's the date stamp at the top, though?
7/5/25. So interesting. So 56 and 57 were new. What the hell?
I bet you'll find a first draft of it. I don't think this is like he sat down and chronologically cranked this out.
So we have so maybe two different notebooks.
Yeah, but then why number it higher? Like the
Yeah,
front
that's
of the-
really strange. But you see, that's why I brought up the blank pages in the other one. It seemed to me that there was a good possibility there was pages after 56, 57, left those pages blank, went back and wrote in them. So it's a possibility that there's a chronological order that's hidden here. So the reason I bring this up, you might be wondering, like, why does Andrew care about this? But seems like something that you shouldn't care about. Well, this dude wrote in code. He wrote the entire first thing in code. There's not really a
Yeah.
good reason for me to assume that he's not coding other messages here.
That's true. And now, now it's out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
There may be people who know that code, and like, it could be something simple like, I noticed this. Wait, on one of the guns there was like a 666 plus some other number. Just say hypothetically that referred to, page, line, word, or something like he had like codes written on the guns, or something like that. I mean, it's possible.
But not all, and notice that not all of these have a date.
Yeah, these don't have a date.
So there's, this all looks like there's some bizarre code that's going on here, along with just the writing itself. There's other codes that are embedded here, and I'm sure that people, internet sleuths will start cracking it. I'm not any good at that, but I can recognize pretty easily that there's a bizarre pattern here, which makes me think that there's codes all throughout these books. There's other messages trying to be conveyed here.
Yeah. Let me, I have to step away for just 1 second, but Hannah Claire sent this, like literally just like 2 minutes, this article to get your opinion on it. And I was curious too, because I am a hater of AI, but I don't have like a moral or theological reason why I hate it. This is about a lawsuit. Well, Hannah Claire, why don't you take it? I'll be right back.
Do you want to put it on screen before you go?
It's loading. It will.
Okay. So you guys have probably seen this. It's making the rounds, stay in mainstream news, but there is a family that's suing an AI company over the fact that their teenage son started using it to research like homework questions, doing whatever, and then became one of these kids that is talking about their anxiety and depression and their feelings. And the family is saying that that ChatGPT never intervened. And even when the kid was like detailing his plans to end his own life, there was nothing done. And in fact, in some ways, they've used the term a suicide coach. I know from what I know about you, Andrew, you have, you're well-versed in theology. I'm wondering if you feel like companies like ChatGPT have any moral or ethical obligation to intervene, or if this is not like we've opened Pandora's box and you're going to get these horrible results.
Well, I mean, if the goal of AI is to make a machine which is self-aware, sentience, consciousness, some type of consciousness, then from the theological view, you should burn it with fire. Essentially, like that's not anything we want. On the other hand, that's not what it is right now. What it is right now is just a basic research and combing tool, right? It can do some interesting things. It can draw some neat pictures. It can write some code, but it doesn't actually know anything. There's no knowledge there, right? It's just operating off of programming scripts like any other program would. So the question comes down to, is there an obligation for companies to provide buffers? I don't think that there is. I don't think that that companies have an obligation when they're putting these brand new technologies out to the public. And these are all test technologies, right? Grok's a test technology. ChatGPT is still a test technology. There's no way to put these types of buffers in place because we don't know enough about how humans are going to interact with it yet. We just don't know. And the thing is there's another kind of problem here, which is that it's all the rage and trend with teenagers right now to talk about deconstructing their childhood, talk about their anxiety, talk about how they were abused at home, talk about all kinds of shit, right? That then 90% of it is nonsense. It's just part of fitting in. You know what I mean? Sure. So I'm not so sure how much you could prove that AI had anything to do with that anyway. What would be the difference if this guy was just Googling these things? Well, Google put in a safeguard. Oh, you have the suicide hotline there. The kid just scrolls past it. They just scroll past it. So I'm not sure that putting these buffers in, what usually ends up happening when you start doing that is the program itself becomes less useful. So I'm not sure that you can take people's access away from it because you think, well, some mentally disturbed kids are going to abuse it. That's likely true, but I'm not sure that there's much you can do about it.
Right. One of the complaints the parent had was that basically it's designed to create dependency to make teenagers come back. And it reminded me of the lawsuits that have gone on for there's a couple cases of like teenage girls, but also younger children who their parents say, end their own lives because they become addicted to like Instagram or TikTok, and it feeds them some type of
But isn't this the
content that drives
McDonald's
an issue.
Isn't this the McDonald's argument? The cheeseburger made me fat. And then they passed the Cheeseburger Act. It was literally called the Cheeseburger Act, where you couldn't sue fast food companies for making you fat anymore. That's highly addictive food, right? Highly addictive food, and people go back to eat it again and again and again and again. But we seem to want to put some personal responsibility on them for the fact that that they're doing that. And here with ChatGPT and these emergent technologies, we don't actually know the rules yet. In fact, for most of the internet, we don't really know the rules yet.
Right.
We don't know the rules yet for podcasting, for new media, for dissident media. We don't really know the rules for any of this. We're coming out of an established 100-year order when it came to radio and TV news, and all the rules are out the window. So nobody even knows how to engage with these things. So I don't think a lawsuit like that's going to go anywhere. Maybe if you have a program designed specifically for kids, sure, put the safeguards in.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and to your earlier
mean-
point, like if you have a mandate that ChatGPT sends you the, suicide hotline number, or, Instagram rolls out Instagram Teen, all of these things, any child that wants to get around them can. It doesn't actually stop anything. It's more, to me, it seems like a safeguard for the company to say, oh, well, we did our best. We tried. It's sort of, to me, falls back on the parents. I mean, it is very tragic that young people are, taking their own lives. On the other hand, I don't know that a company miles away can stop that.
I used to like to beat up on parents a lot more for this, but the more of them that I talked to around the country when I started streaming, the more I realized that they're not actually familiar with the emergent technology. Like, they don't know anything about it. There's no training course for it. You know what I mean? For them, it just looks like a nifty, neat little tool. They have no idea what it's even capable of doing. And because these technologies are emerging so quickly, it's very hard for parents to even keep up with them.
Right.
So again, our brains are not wired to deal with information this way. We have no idea how to respond to it yet. And launching these suits, I think we'll try to finalize some kind of order to the chaos, but I'm not sure we're going to get there anytime soon.
Right. It's interesting to see that this is, I think you're right. I mean, you could shift blame around all the time, but every generation of parents have had to deal with a new type of technology that their kids know more about and are faster at getting around. I worked very briefly at a high school, and this was during the emergence of the realization among the parents that their teenage daughters had Finstas. Like, they had their Instagram, and they had a fake one where they were posting all the other stuff they're not supposed to post. And that's like very simple. And I remember this mom being like, I had no idea you could have 2 accounts. There's no perfect track here. I just find ChatGPT to be this, for me, like a Pandora's box. And
oh, damn
there
it.
are reports. What's up? Yeah, it was tough, team.
Sorry. Oh, now there it goes. Sorry.
And also, I'm not even.
It's still not up.
I'm not really
Yeah,
even
it's still
that.
manifesto for me, Jeremy. Sorry, Andrew.
I'm not even that upset about it ultimately, and here's why. So when I was younger, and I'm sure Jeremy, when you were younger, you had the out the door in the morning, didn't come back till the street lights came off type
That's right.
policy, right? That's how it went. We got into all kinds of shit that we weren't supposed to get into, and we were doing all kinds of shit
Starting
we weren't supposed
fires.
to do. Oh, all kinds of shit, all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
All the
Rock.
time, nonstop. We were drinking beer. We were doing all kinds of shit at 11, 12, 13 that
Yep.
our parents didn't know about. Is this really any worse than that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that the kids hiding their conversations on Instagram is any worse than hiding their conversations from their parents by meeting in the park. It's like, it's kind of the same shit ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, hiding conversations in general is something. I mean, in my generation, old guys, girls had diaries, and they put them underneath their bed, and brothers went in there and broke in and read about things they thought they wanted to know, but then they realized
What?
they didn't
Well,
really want to know.
Personal
No,
life,
you read it.
Virginia?
You read that shit to your friends, bro. That's
Yeah,
how it went.
right, yeah.
You read it to your friends.
You read it to your friends until they got to the part about their first period, and then you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. But
Isn't that the part where everybody laughs the hardest? I don't know.
yeah.
but yeah, the thing is like I'm not sure. Kids are always getting up to kind of no good as they're testing boundaries and this type of thing. The biggest problem seems to be with emerging technology is the idea of access. Is like how many people have access to you that wouldn't ordinarily have access to you. So it used to be you maybe had a creeper going through a neighborhood and that was no good, but now you can have 1,000 creepers knocking on the door through through the kind of like online access sphere. So
Well,
there is some additional safeguards that you got to put in, but on the other hand, like there's just not that much you can do, ultimately about this is the new world.
Well, I don't know if that I didn't. The article never loaded. She mentioned the what? Oh, you know why? Because I pulled up the position Russia-Ukraine position thing that you sent, not the AI thing. I just completely fucked it up all the way. So sorry about that.
I can only see the manifesto on my screen. So,
yeah, well, I
you
was
know.
waiting for it to load in another window. I'm an idiot. I'm a total professional streamer
Look, it's
guy.
hard to host and do the production side of things.
Oh, yeah.
I have empathy for you.
And my stomach's like not in a good place. Okay, here's one thing. I don't know if you. Well, let's actually ask that question then. The article was about the Russia-Ukraine war and the church's position on it, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Hannah?
there was an Orthodox archbishop who has issued an apology because he met with Putin. And I'm not Orthodox, but the Orthodox Church has a really saying the paywalled one is interesting to me in this conflict. And I know from what I know, Andrew, you're Orthodox, so I was wondering if you can kind of talk about what the dynamic is with the church as
speak for your people,
or just give me an insight. I feel like I could maybe give you a history, but it would not be as well versed as someone who's actually
So I almost wish you had talked to me about this before, but I don't speak on matters of clergy. So I'm
fine.
I'm a
totally
layman.
fine.
Can you talk about
I'm a layman, and so it's not actually appropriate for me to speak on matters of clergy as a person who was only inducted a few short years ago in the Orthodox Church to give political takes on how the church mechanics are working. It's not for me to do. That would be for a priest to do.
That's fine, but and you don't have to do this if you're not comfortable. But do you know very much about the relationship between the Ukrainian Orthodox Church versus the Russian Orthodox Church?
Yes, and there's a massive internal war that's going on and has been for a long time between a bishop named Bartholomew. It's a whole thing, but again, it's not a thing that I have any blessing to speak on.
Oh, okay.
A guy like Jay Dyer would be really good to break those things down.
Oh, we just had him on, I think, too.
Yeah, but
we did. Jay's great.
I believe that he has various blessings from the church to speak on those issues. I most certainly do not, and I adhere pretty rigorously to that.
That's fine.
How about this one? So RFK Jr. says the agency will reveal causes of autism in September. This is a pretty big one for, RFK has basically staked his entire reputation on this autism thing. Not a reputation, but that was a big part of his, his 1 in 30 now, or it was 1 in 30,000, then 1 in 30. September's a week away. I mean, but let's say he was right. This has the potential to be maybe the biggest scandal, health scandal. What would you even call it? If he links the rise in autism to vaccines or something like that, the 1 in 31 children, 1 in 45 adults have autism. I find those numbers hard to believe. I feel like the definition of autism must be widely expanded as to what it used to be, but
I don't know, man. Let me ask you this: do you interact? So I know that it's not, I guess, appropriate or whatever for larger streamers. Usually, they don't like to give normal people too much access to them, and I get why.
I do. I'm in bowling leagues. I'm in darts leagues. I talk. I talk to normal.
Yeah. So I hang out. hang out in Discords constantly, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, and talk to various people from basically everywhere because they have really good insights into things. You know, normal people have good insights. And the amount of antisocial behavior that I see from people, just even slightly younger than myself, we're talking, you know, 30 down, the antisocial behavior is really bad. I mean, it's
That's
really
true.
bad. And they try to focus on the idea of technology. You know, technology has made the antisocial behavior way worse. And I think that there's some truth there, but there's also something wrong there. These people don't tick right. You know what I mean? They don't tick upstairs the correct way. And I do think that there's a lot of crazy ass autistic lunatics out there now. And is it due to vaccinations? Sure. I think that there could be some links there. There's been links with vaccinations and like Guillain-Barré disease and all sorts of various things
Yeah.
before. I'm sure that you'll be able to link vaccines to things like autism as well. Maybe microplastics. That's another big one. As the world became more plastic, you saw autism tick up as well, especially the amount we ingest with bottled water and the way that our food comes packaged. And I mean, plastic is just everything.
That stuff
So-
on pans too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The
So I mean,
CFP
it's
bags.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And the rise in cooking everything on planet Earth in vegetable oil instead of lard fat. I've heard every kind of thing in between for what possibly is ticking it up, but I would actually say that those numbers might be low, that they need to broaden the category even more because people are so antisocial, Jeremy. They can't
Yeah.
even, like, let me give you an example. You go through a drive-through now and they just grunt at you. They don't even talk. Like, I remember when I was working in a McDonald's when I was 13 or 14, you'd hit the little button, say, "Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? You know, what can I get for you? Thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Do you need anything else?" You know, all that. These people don't do any of that. They're like, and then you
that
you
sounds
talk to,
familiar.
and then
Yeah.
when they go over to the drive-through, they don't look at you. They
That
don't even
I've
look at you.
noticed.
They
Yeah,
look away from you and hand you the bag. They don't ask you, and then they slam the window shut. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? But that's customer service everywhere. And once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. And you realize that there's an age that this seems to be associated with. And it's not older millennials. It's usually like 32 and under.
Yeah,
There's some
Gen Z.
serious antisocial lunatics going. You know, I don't know what else to say
Well,
about it.
another aspect, the numbers are a lot higher than what you're mentioning, Jeremy, in the article here. Yesterday, when Trump was talking to RFK mentioned specifically that it's now 1 in every 12.5 boys that are born right now that are being born with autism. So this is a huge issue that I think people do not understand the bigger significance of, because the amount of healthcare costs, the amount of antisocial behavior, and when you look at CNN even did a segment saying, "Oh, look, no one's drinking anymore. Look how great it is." And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
but look how many people are using online adult content. Look how many people are going to all these like smoke shops and are vaping right now more than ever. Look at how fried their dopamine systems are. So again, you cannot ignore this issue. I'm super interested because RFK Jr. has been talking about releasing this report.
How could he have it done so fast? That's what's crazy.
Just that good,
Well,
Jeremy.
No, well, he was talking about doing it earlier this year. So earlier this year, he was talking about, as soon as he got into office, a task force that is going to be doing double-blind placebo studies on vaccinations. I think vaccinations and heavy metals and things like pesticides and microplastics and all of these things around our environment that are slowly and surely, in my opinion, soft kill weapons that are being utilized by very powerful individuals to try to tamper down human populations have worked tremendously. I mean, Bill Gates talked about we need to lower the population by vaccinating everyone, and then a couple of years right after that, everyone was forced to be vaccinated, and now the population is lower, reproduction levels, fertility rates are down lower than they ever were before. So I think it's a legitimate issue that I'm very excited to see the actual cause of, because it probably will create a lot of ripple effects. And I want to know, I want to have kids. And when I have kids, I want to know, what can I do to prevent them from being autistic? I don't want my kids to be autistic.
Well, sorry, Luke, But
nice,
if,
Jeremy.
if
I
yeah, all right, okay.
I released a T-shirt that says "unvaccinated but still autistic." One of my best sellers right now on the bestpoliticalcharts.com. So
I want to know how many adults are getting. It's saying 1 in 45 in this article. How many of these people are getting diagnosed later in life? Like, it's fascinating to me that you'll get people. I get served this content on social media all the time. They'll be like, "Well, I didn't get diagnosed. My therapist was really resistant until I was in my 30s." And at that point, I want to be like, "Are you actually autistic? Like, when did this become such an expansive definition to include sort of being socially awkward?"
Well, yeah, I mean, there's also a part of me, Andrew, does sure mean read it or ignore it?
No, you can read it.
Okay. There's a part of me that thinks too that like I mean, like what Andrew says, yes. You know what's funny is I guess I would say I do interact with a lot of people, but they're almost exclusively older than me. I'm like the young buck when I hang out with them. So I don't see this as much. But when I do go into like Discords or I interact with people in public, I would not be shocked if you told me 50% of these people were autistic.
Yeah.
You know, so like in my bowling league, I don't see it, but everyone there is at least 60 years old. So it's, you know, they're not a part of that kind of that generation of, you know, they try to say, oh, well, COVID stunted everybody. Man, I don't know about all that. Like,
no, this was going on long before COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This was a problem long before COVID-19. I do think that vaccines probably led to more blood clotting and various health issues. Now, of course, I can't prove that, but that this is just purely anecdotal. But people
just your feeling.
People that I've known who've taken the vaccine generally don't seem to get very good results after a few years. But, you know, I'm sure that has nothing to do with the vaccine. It just has to do with the fact that everybody's getting sick kind of all at once, right? But this aside, the antisocial aspect of people, especially younger people, is there. And the writing's on the wall there that something's seriously wrong. And there must be something then that was present that wasn't present before that we would need to be able to point to. So RFK is pretty confident he's going to point to things like vaccines and probably microplastics or something in diet. And maybe he's right about that, but there's something going on for sure. And almost everybody I talk to, I mentioned this to, thinks about it for 5 seconds and goes, yeah, there's something going on. There's something wrong here.
It isn't like a rapid evolution of mankind. Like, I've heard people try to explain it that way. Generally, people with autism say this. They're like, well, actually, it's just a newer, better type of person. I'm like, man, okay, go talk to that girl. Oh, okay, you can't? Okay, well, you're going to die out.
Yeah. Well, we're dealing with a mass extinction level type of event here that I think, you know, you can't really be hyperbolic about because it's so evident. Not just when it comes to the fertility and reproduction rates, but you look around society, we are headed towards some very significant major problems, not just financial, but social issues that will break the fabric of our way of life here that we're taking for granted. There's going to be a very rough road ahead of us, and we need to reverse course, but everything that we're doing isn't doing that. And I think the closest we're going to come to doing that is just by trying to understand what's really going on here. But some people argue it's already too late for that.
You know, I was talking to Tim last night and he was talking about, I'm trying to find it, and we were texting back and forth about some sort of drop off that's coming. It's like 5 years away. Where is this? Where he was talking about basically the same kind of thing. Like, some rough times are headed our way because there's a lot of, I think we were talking about, 5 years out from the boomer mortality shelf. Okay, so that must mean what, when boomers are going to start dying off? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's only 5 years away. And, you know, I think we'll see a big cultural shift. I think boomers get a lot of blame for a lot of stuff. You know, I try not to. They deserve, yes,
which they deserve.
But like, you know, I try to avoid broad strokes. But you know, boomer generation did do some things that I don't think turned out all that great for the people who are living now. But you know, people will probably say that about millennials, you know, in 50 years too. So I guess I don't know. We'll have to see what my people do. but I do want to take a second because I want to formally introduce our guest Andrew Wilson and give him a second to, tell the people, he's making the rounds. You might recognize him from Making Girls Cry on the Whatever podcast, or being on Tim Pool or his own show, the Crucible. We've got 18,000 people on Rumble. We got some over 22,000 people watching right now. Suck it, Tim. Where can they find your stuff, and when are your streams so they can tune in?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube at The Crucible. You can find me on Rumble. That's the Extravaganza that runs every day in the top 10 lineup at 5 p.m. Eastern. And
nice.
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Paleo ChristCon. So I don't have, because I do a lot of debates, I don't actually have such a set streaming schedule on YouTube, but the way that I try to run it, if I'm not traveling,
Yeah,
is I do AW Live twice a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I do a TikTok invasion every Friday or Saturday. So this just depends on what the debate schedule is and the travel schedule. So
I'm trying to pull up the Rumble channel. It's called The Extravaganza.
yeah, The Crucible on Rumble. The
The
show's
Crucible.
The Extravaganza. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. The Crucible, spelled correctly.
Yeah,
right?
it's the _Crucible, I think.
Oh, see, this is There's somebody. Do you want me to get Rumble to fix that for you?
I've only asked him a dozen times.
I can get it fixed for you today.
Great.
What a flex, Jeremy.
Well, so I want to make sure people subscribe to the correct one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are those other ones not your? There's a Crucible with a 3.
That's
That's
it.
not.
That's the
That
one.
is it.
Yeah.
Is that how you want it to be, or do you
No.
want the Crucible?
No, they just the name was taken, so
Oh, I'll figure that out because they're impersonating you.
no.
Like-
That's my account, the one with the 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
because the regular the Crucible name was taken on Rumble.
But I'm looking at it,
Really? Link it.
the Crucible, and it's just your content.
Oh, well, link it and let me see it.
Yeah. We'll talk offline about that, but I want to make sure. So, I will also remind everyone tomorrow. I put it in the private chat. So when I go to the Crucible,
Yeah, that one's right. The Crucible. Yep, that's correct.
but it's spelled correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. There's another one that's not spelled correct as well that it goes to. I don't know why.
But they're
Sorry.
both you.
They're both me.
Okay, well, subscribe to the Crucible, and if you have a Rumble thing, just tell me after chat or DM me, and I'll get him to fix it. So yeah, go subscribe to him. Help him get to 50,000 followers. He's got 25,000, which is like 100,000 on YouTube or more than that. So yeah, here's his channel on and mods. Can you put it in chat? And also, if you're watching on YouTube, obviously the Crucible there. They are mods. They're already all over it. Thank you guys. Yeah, go support his channel. Luke, what do you got going on?
I got some great tea filled with no microplastics. I think once you put hot water in those tea bags, you kind of screw yourself. So wearechange.shop is where you could support me. IRS came in and destroyed my life last year, took everything away from me. And
They
made me
really
big
did.
sad.
He's not kidding.
Made me big sad. It was a big financial attack. And then I talked to Jeremy, and Jeremy is like, hey, you should do your own tea. And I'm like, I like that idea. He helped me do it. Wearechange.shop, microplastic free tea. We made sure to make the mascot a testicle. And it just says sip happens because you don't want to get tea bagged. Tea bags is where you get those microplastics and probably a bunch of autism. So wearechange.shop is where you support me, get the tea. A lot of people who try the tea really like it. And I can't thank you enough for all of the support.
Hannah Claire.
You can find my stuff on YouTube and Rumble. I'm Hannah Claire B in both of those places. I'm also Hannah Claire B on X. I do videos on news, some cultural analysis. Thanks as always to you guys who have already subscribed. Also be back tomorrow to take part in Astrocast, some of the best days of the week.
That's right. Count Dankula will be here tomorrow too.
Ooh.
I've got a very someone has. I know this is probably strange for you, Andrew, but somebody has taken issue with something you've said.
No way.
It's probably the first time this ever happened.
Yeah.
It was, but I figured, well, hey, if they're going to give me $100 and you'll get no dollars, the least I could do is ask the question.
Sure.
They said that you called people standing up for the 14-year-old girl in Dundee simps, essentially saying the child has Medicare. I don't know what that means. The reason I brought it up is because they're writing an article. Words have meanings. Isn't that right? Would you like to comment? I'll include it in my article. That doesn't sound very... That's from Kimberly Coulter. I don't know if you've gone back and forth with that individual or not, but...
So let me ask you this.
The child has me. What do you think that means?
If this was good faith and this article is good faith and all this is good faith, why didn't that person just reach out to me? My DMs are totally open. They could have asked for clarification. They could have had a conversation. Lying through their fucking teeth is what's going on. So here's what this person's doing. What you're doing is you're a disingenuous, dishonest, lying sack of shit. Why not just talk to me? Why not just talk to me? Why not just be like, hey, Andrew, what's going on with this? I would even do a live call on X about it.
On the Crucible, maybe.
You don't want to have clarification. You don't want to know what was actually meant here. You want to write a hit piece, you disingenuous fuck. But I'll go ahead and clarify. So what happened?
I'm not asking you to. You don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I will.
Okay.
So here's what happened. Okay. So I shot out a tweet that people took, a lot of people took offense to because they didn't read. Yeah, they didn't read the quote tweet. They didn't read the person that I was quoting. So there was a woman who was essentially blaming men for what was going on in the UK.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's all men's fault, right? And here's what she said. It seems the boots on the ground revolution against migrant crime will be led by the ladies who have learned the hard way. No one's coming to save them, not their fathers, brothers, not the men of their community, not the state. They're already in the thick of battle while their men are still living in the fear of the state. When men aren't willing to risk the wrath of the state to protect their daughters, and their daughters must carry that burden themselves because, they're the only ones affected because the other option is death by migrant gang rape. So obviously this is trying to pin this problem on men.
Yeah, I wonder how that person voted.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's funny. What my tweet was, and you voted for this.
There you go. Yeah.
So what happened is these disingenuous fucks, or a couple of disingenuous accounts, decided to not include any of that context and instead acted as though I was saying that it was okay for migrants to rape this girl, which the tweet had nothing at all to do with that.
Right.
It was clear.
I can see how people would twist that.
It was very clear it had nothing to do with that. I wrote a follow-up explaining what we were talking about and then offered to do a debate on the topic with anybody who wanted to. Do you think there was any takers? No.
I'm going to guess
do you
no.
think that this person actually is being good faith and I'm going to write an article about this, but I just never bothered to reach out to you. Instead, I'm going to try to ambush you.
American man says women deserve rape.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, do you think it's a good faith thing to say, to try to ambush you on somebody else's show with $100 super chat, to try to get an expression instead of just reaching out to the person who made the tweet to get clarification? This is completely disingenuous. And by the way, this attack is spearheaded by a lot of the same people who've attacked me over the years, Tree of Logic and many others who push us into the ethos. They want to pretend like I'm acting like raping kids is okay or something like this.
I didn't read your tweet like that at all.
Pure lies.
Hannah Claire, sorry guys, I told you before the show I'm not feeling so good. I got to go dump out here. Will you take this Minnesota story quick?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a follow-up. Probably both of you remember this. It went viral beginning of this year, but there was that woman who essentially got into kind of an altercation with a child, a black child, at a playground in Minnesota and was filmed using a slur. She's raised a ton of money and she's officially been charged. The charges include, let me see if I can
3
find
counts of disorderly conduct.
Yes.
And or $1,000 fine.
Right. And this article from AP News notes that she's raised $800,000 out of the desired $1 million, while the family of the kid have raised something like I think it's $340,000. Do you think that this is going to be something we see a resurgence, or do you think this is going to settle into the background? Because at the time it was a big debate over free speech.
Well, was it over free speech or was it over something else?
That's a
what
good question.
what is known as fatigue, right? That's what I hear a lot of, fatigue. So the idea here has been, and I'll just use blunt language, that blacks have literally been getting away with murder. Literally been getting away with murder, and especially if they're targeting white people. And I don't think that that's really a controversial statement at this point. It that they have. And in this particular case, that's what was going on here. This guy murdered a kid. You know what I mean? This dude murdered a kid, and then his family went up with the GoFundMe, right? And the whole idea, though,
You're talking about Carmelo Anthony.
yeah. Well, this is I mean, this is what's being referenced against the contrast, right? What happened with the gal who said, who said the N-word or whatever, the idea was, how can you crucify a person this badly and try to completely destroy their life and deperson them, debank them, make sure that they have no life left ever again, no more work, no more anything, because they said a word. But somehow it's okay to let the kind of black on white violence go. And if you say anything about it, you're a racist. And so they were sending a message, and the message was loud and clear: fuck you. We're not going to put up with that double standard anymore. And that's really what happened there. And so do I think it'll happen again? I do. And do I think that that's creating a normalization where people are like, look, you're not going to be able to just deperson people for the rest of their lives because they said a word you don't like? Yeah, I think that's actually probably the most responsible way to do it too. So
are you expecting her to get convicted in Minnesota on these charges?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. That's the red herring, right? It's like the rights only supports convicted criminals. I can hear the headline now. Same thing that they say about Trump. But what are they charging her for? Mischief? Like, what does that even do? What is it? A slap on the wrist and a $2,000 fine? Maybe they'll slap her with the maximum fine because they want a piece of her GoFundMe money. But ultimately, the thing is going on here is they got to get her with something. The progressive outcry was such, they have to get her with something. But guess what? It's not illegal to say words to people, even children. It's not illegal to do. So they can only come up with something that was absurd, like mischief. And will they convict her on it? She'll probably plead guilty. What does she care? Plead guilty on the way out, pay the $3,000 fine or whatever, and move on and retire with your $800,000 and use it wisely.
I believe she's facing 6 to 9 months in jail if convicted, which would be extremely rare and unusual to happen. Yeah, it would be extremely rare for that but they could be trying to make an example out of her as well, because where's the ACLU? Where's the Civil Liberties Union? These people used to fight for people's free speech, whether they agreed with them or not. Those days are kind of long gone here. But you're going to charge and put this person and threaten this person in jail and fine them because they said mean words. I mean, we live in America. We should have free speech, even if it's offensive free speech. And that's one of the reasons why I was against the kind of flag burning executive weird order that Donald Trump passed as well. Our rights shouldn't be stopped where someone's feelings start. And clearly there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of emotions here, and we should be
that's a very common libertarian take. I just don't think it had anything to do with this ultimately. So
which one?
The idea of the money pouring into this chick and her for her saying the word. I don't think it was free speech advocates really who were pouring the money in. I think it was people who were basically saying, we're really, really, really tired of black people being considered a privileged class and whites being considered a class that you can just do whatever you want to because after all they're white. I don't think it had anything to do with free speech at all. I think that libertarians kind of always take that stance, and I think it's a fair stance, right? I just think that ultimately this particular case really had to do with what Jeremy just said, fatigue. What is
you're 100%. I'm just saying it should be a free speech issue, right? And other groups that have protected free speech should be protecting the free speech of individuals, and punishing this person because they said mean words is ridiculous. That's the only point that I'm making. I agree with you.
It helped that she was moderately attractive too. Let's not pretend that didn't. If she was 400 pounds, she doesn't raise whatever it was, 800.
There is a question of First Amendment being kind of a euphemism. I think Andrew's totally right. I think that is the nerve that was actually touched. But she did say in a statement that she's, encouraging people to keep standing up for yourselves, keep fighting for the First Amendment. And I sometimes think that there is there are people and issues that are about the First Amendment. In this case, I wonder if it's like this is the way to
Yeah, well, but I mean,
talk
but-
about the issue.
That wasn't
what-
the first
what
time
else
she
is
said
she-
that word.
Yeah. And by the way, what else is she going to say? Is she,
Right.
like, what else is she going to say except, keep fighting for the First Amendment? Is she just going to come
Right.
out and be like, yeah, and by the way, it's perfectly acceptable for you to use racial slurs because that's totally protected speech and these people could go fuck themselves. That would be a little more controversial,
Be
I think.
spicier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it would be a little more controversial. But that's really what's going
That's
on.
what she's real. That's what
Yeah.
that's what the money's saying.
Yeah.
The like when you look through it, like the black fatigue was and is still at an all-time high. That's why this Rajah Jackson story is so big. You know, him like chimping out and like killing a guy, practically killing a guy. And people are like, well, no charges. It's been like 4 days, still no charges. But I wanted to, and sorry I almost canceled the show today, which I haven't done in over 2 years, but something's going on with my stomach and it is not happy with me. But the
I have that effect on people, Jerry.
yeah, maybe I just got nervous. Maybe I have nervous diarrhea, and that's from you being on the show. By the way, everyone, make sure you follow the Crucible. And you watch them live today, and it's 5 o'clock. Is it Eastern or Central? Eastern. So
Is that your third podcast in like 24 hours at that point?
It can be.
yeah, it will be.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
It can be. Depends on the day. I do a lot of traveling for in-person debates and for in-person shows. So I switch back and forth between video and the IRL content. So it's a crazy schedule, and I don't know that I'll ever really be able to make sense of it.
Side bet: who's gonna come out of the debate, the quote unquote winner between Hassan and Charlie Kirk?
Kirk.
Yeah, I think Kirk will crush
That's not
him.
even a contest. Kirk is
He's good at it.
He's above average skilled rhetorician, and he has a good foundation for logical arguments. Hassan Piker runs off of pure emotion, and he also has a big flaw, which is he has terrible recall. And so when
That's
he's
a good point.
trying to collect a fact, and he might even know the fact, but when he's trying to collect it to use it, he has a hard time bringing it out. You know what I mean?
That's
Kirk-
why he needs his chat.
Yeah,
You know
Kirk
what I
has
mean?
the opposite thing going on, though. He has really good fact recall, so he can pull those facts out quickly. So I mean, Hassan's done. There's no possible way he's going to beat Kirk on this.
What are the odds of a rage quit? Like, obviously he will personally. I'm not like.
I would say cancellation's more likely.
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
probably
wondering.
true. He'll bail at the last second. Like, he's a Zio Cook. I'm not going to go there.
He's a fat. Well, I think he'll just say safety concerns. He'll say there's going to be too many right wingers there, and I've had too many threats. I have legitimate safety concerns, and there's no way I'm doing it, and I'm not going to trust their security, and I'm not going to spend money to provide my own security. And yeah, they offer to give me the money to provide my own security, but it's still just not. I think it'll be something like that.
Yeah, I think it would be too good to be true because I think, like, I'm lukewarm on Kirk, but I know that he is at least above average, as you put it. I think he's pretty good, but I like to see, like Shapiro wrecking college kids is fine and dandy, but like I do like to see that. Like Kirk will do some more formal debates, and like he'll go over to the UK and do those weird, like everyone wears a tuxedo and a fancy dress
the
debates.
Parliament style debate.
Yeah. But sorry if you repeated. I don't know if you repeated your take on this, but like it seems like not just like in the free speech era, and the right kind of merged, but now it seems like it's more at odds because like I don't think people should be going to jail and like for burning the American flag. That's crazy to me. And a lot of my chat disagrees with me.
I think they should.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you
Drag
think?
your ass to prison.
Well, I think that it's
I disagree. We can't be arresting people for offending people. If you have your own property, right? I think the act is disgusting. I would never do it. But I think it's a principled issue that allows the left to kind of run with feelings over actual kind of principles.
Yeah, I don't let my enemies determine what is moral or is immoral or the right path or the wrong path. I determine that for them. Fuck them. Here's the thing. The left doesn't give a
Convince
shit
me.
about free speech.
Yeah.
They've torn down all the Confederate flags from the South, which was part of their heritage. They've torn down all of our monuments that they can get their hands on. They have torn down the society around us while we say, wait a second, that's against free speech. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit, right? They'll destroy everything that you love in 5 seconds. We have a powerful symbol that we can get behind, a really powerful symbol. And we can draw a line at the symbol. We can say, like, look, you can't take our flag and make a hybrid Mexican flag with a bunch of invaders in California who are burning police cars and businesses and wave it around like you have conquered one of our fucking states. No way. And then they burn the American flag right after that. And if you read the executive order also doesn't say that you can't go on your private property and burn a flag. The executive order says that they're going to utilize this as a form of basically criminal mischief.
If it's like a riot-inducing thing,
yeah,
right?
when you're doing, and that you're trying to incite a riot and things like this. But let me tell you another thing. It was only, I think, 1989, roughly, when the law came in that said that you can desecrate the flag. So most of our history, like our founders would have drug your ass out and shot you. They would have shot your ass dead if you were burning their flag. If a horde of invaders were burning their flag in one of their colonies, those guys would not have been home for dinner. And this is a brand new precedent, and it hasn't worked out for us. And no, fuck that. They go to jail.
I saw a tweet that kind of encapsulated that as something like, I can't imagine our founding fathers were thinking of Somalian invaders burning the American flag when they wrote the First Amendment, kind of thing.
Well, and why should we as a country allow people to demoralize us? And it's always the slippery slope argument. It's always like, well, what's next? And it's like, okay, they're giving TRT to kids and cutting off their dicks. I think that we're past the, like, what could the stopping people from burning flags lead to? We've been past that for a long time. Can we at least capture one symbol, hold the line on it, and tell these fuckers if they do something to it, they go straight to jail? I think we can. And
I agree. It's kind of an old issue, and it's kind of a little bit of a distraction. But for me personally, can I just be able to destroy their symbols too? Why can't we just do that? Why can't we just unwind it a little bit, where it's like, okay, you could do the American flag, but now you could do the Pride flag. You could do the BLM flag too now. And I think that would have been a better kind of a resolution for me personally. And I understand the arguments that you're making.
Those don't have the same power.
Yeah,
but those don't have the same power as symbols.
The American flag, I think it's fair to set apart from a BLM flag or like a Pride flag. I go back and forth on this because I do, I like the ability to have as much free expression as possible. But I do think that, like, it's not the same thing. You can't say the Pride flag has the same value. I don't even think it's as legitimate in any way as the American flag.
It does. No, they don't care.
But I don't believe
they don't care. They don't hold symbols like that to be like, I don't know what the right word here is like, they're devotional. They don't hold any devotionalism to these symbols. When I was a kid, we pledged allegiance. What do we pledge allegiance to? The flag. Why? Because it represented what? The United States of America and the republic for which it stood. The whole idea of desecrating a flag, at least when I was growing up, that was a big no-no. When you were growing up too, Jeremy, that was a big no-no. You'd get your ass kicked for doing something
culturally,
like that.
yeah. I mean, like, now, like, so when I first saw the way that EO is being presented by the internet, I was like, well, no, that's stupid. Now, if you want to use it to say, like, well, if you're burning a bunch of flags while committing crimes or starting riots, I'm less concerned. I think that people, yes, you have a First Amendment right. For example, like, if you're like there's a guy that went to jail or was arrested for stealing somebody's BLM flag and burning it. And like the way the right presented that story was, man arrested for BLM flag, when that actually wasn't true. Like, he stole someone else's property off their, whatever, and then burned it. I don't care. I think it's funny, but, like, you can't burn someone else's property. So, like,
But Jeremy, what about this? What about there's states right now?
Don't use your mental judo on me.
Well, I'm not trying to, but there's states right now where you can't name your kid Adolf Hitler. It's a crime to name him Adolf Hitler. Did you know that?
Is that true? No, I didn't
Yes,
know
it's
that.
true. Google it. There's states right
I believe
now
you.
where it's a crime to name your kid Adolf Hitler. Is that a speech issue? Do you think parents should have the right to name their kid Adolf Hitler? Or do you think maybe it sets them up for so much turmoil and destruction that probably we can make kind of some wiggle room and exceptions for what we really think the First Amendment was there for, which was not to name your kid Adolf Hitler.
I mean, I think
Have
it would
you
be
seen the younger
What if your last name
generation
really
and what
is
they're
Hitler?
talking about. I don't think there would be turmoil. Right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not now, but
Not
I'm
anymore.
just saying, like, you know, this is a real thing, and that's not the only type of kind of speech exception that I could point to. The American flag, the symbol of the nation, there's no more powerful symbol than that. And the demoralization of people setting it on fire and then having it covered on TV as though we're under duress and attack and can do nothing. We can't do anything. We just have to sit there and watch it burn to the ground. Fuck that, man. We're not going to have a country. We're not going to have a country if we keep letting that go on.
your dad, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. What do you call a dog that can do magic?
What?
I fucked it up. Labracadabrador.
Bro.
Come on, that's a
Bro.
good dad joke.
That's such a
I was
terrible
like,
joke. bro.
Labracadabrador.
So
Come
bad.
on, that's funny.
Labracadabrador.
You could have also went with Houndini, or
that was a very good way, by the way, to distract from us kind of debating this issue out. Jeremy. I just want to point out that was a really good
Diffuse.
kind of like diffusion strategy.
Let me
But
kick
that's fine. That's
let me
fine.
kick
That's
it back off again. I think we're better off with more rights, more freedoms, and I think this is what makes America great again. And I think being able to, express yourself fully, even if it's offensive, is something that is inherently American, even though it hasn't been followed and practiced exactly the way we want it to be. But I think representing this idea, saying, yeah, you have a right to be offensive. Yes, you have a right to express yourself. Yes, you have a right to do something that's vulgar and disgusting. I want to know who those people are, because I find flag burning disgusting. I love this country. I love the ideas of this country. I love the people of this country. But I want to know if you're an idiot. I want to know if that guy's an idiot. Protecting and setting up these laws just kind of restricts our rights, sets up more bureaucracy. I'm sick of it. I want more rights. I want to burn the BLM flag. I want to burn the Pride flag. I want to burn whatever flag I want to burn.
Let me give you.
And I don't want any kind of consequences for it. And I think that should have been the right approach that could have granted us more liberty and freedom rather than kind of restricted us a little bit more based off feelings and emotions.
Yeah, but it's such a liberal take because you start with this, it's very un-American type of thing. It's like, no, it's very, very American. So here, let me give you the actual pastime of America. That would be blasphemy laws. Women don't vote. Okay. I mean, the list goes on and on here. Also, there's a bunch of other like the fact that homosexuals used to be castrated. That was pretty uniquely American. The list of things which I would consider uniquely American would basically stop at what, like the mid 80s? That's when the real America came around, where everybody can just do whatever they want, man, as long as you're not overstepping your bounds, man, and stepping on someone else's toe. Bullshit.
Yeah, I never said it was perfect. I specifically said
but,
it's not
but here's
perfect.
the thing: more rights. I ever hear when people say more rights, right? I've never heard a person say, "I want more rights to do this very dutiful, responsible thing." Everybody always says, "I want more rights so that they can do some fucking degenerate ass bullshit." Never heard it once. When have you ever heard a person say, I really want the right to do this thing that leads to more responsibility and duty? Never heard it once. It's always, I want the right to go out and do this fucking degenerate, awful, horrible thing.
The right to
need to get married.
Yeah,
I need to be able to walk around nude. I need to be like, it's always some fucking degenerate shit. Is more rights, is that something that really leads to more freedom? Is that something that really has been good for America? I'm not really so sure, man.
Well, I can't.
It leads
I
to
think
responsibility, and I agree. There has been a segment of people that have been promoting and calling for degeneracy, but I think if you truly do understand the root cause of liberty, it comes with a whole bunch of responsibility. And I'd rather be responsible for myself than the government be responsible for me or my feelings or my emotions. And I think it's just a dangerous precedent to be set here. And I just respectfully kind of disagree.
But
here.
all rights are
Even
affirmed in the
even though
negative.
I probably share the same values as you.
Yeah, no, I
when it comes
understand.
to-
I
when it
get
comes
the
to,
argument.
You know, the importance of religion, the importance of family, the importance of personal responsibility, and being able to be there for yourself as an individual, for your family, for your community, for your neighborhood. I think that idea needs to be promoted, but I think we just agree with the way of going about it in a different way.
But if all rights are affirmed in the negative, and they're all negative rights, right? Every right that we have, there are no duties. That's what a negative right is. There's no personal duty associated with it. Like, you can own a gun, you have no duty to own one. You can vote, you have no duty to vote. You can do X, but you have no duty to do X. That's what the affirmative right would be. Something that would say that there's some inference of duty there, maybe. But ultimately, I don't see where any of these duties are. Like, where's all the duties for your rights? I don't see them anywhere. All I see is people asking for the right to get married because they're gay, the right to have a polygamous relationship, the right to do the most degenerate shit on planet Earth. I would love to hear someone say, I want the right to do this extremely responsible, dutiful thing. Never heard it once. Not ever.
Let's acknowledge
I think carrying a gun is something that is responsible for your own safety, because a lot of people understand. A lot of police departments don't kind of do that. But I agree. What you're calling out here, I want to call out too, because a lot of people usually, not always, but usually have this kind of tendencies to ask for this type of self-loathing, prideful, assuring qualities that aren't usually the best. But there are other kind of exceptions to the rule that I think are worth noting. And I just say, let the chips fall where they may, because I think less kind of government intervention would be best. But what kind of solutions would you propose, and what kind of answers would you think are the best moving forward?
Yeah, so I would protect symbols. I would promote that there be a national campaign at the top level, which promoted only the nuclear cross-generational family, that all LGBTQ alternative family, things like that, be completely eradicated from the public square, period. And the government did pro-family propaganda, pro-natalist propaganda, brought back the effect of this type of propaganda. And here's what that effect does. It not only leads to a very pro-natalist society and birth rates increasing, which we desperately need, but it leads to less divorce. It leads to healthier societies. The government really doesn't have that many duties, except a couple. They have a couple of duties, but one is definitely to promote the health and welfare of its citizens. And it's like, if they got to infringe on your gay rights to do that, good. Good. I don't care. Infringe on your gay rights. Gays can't get married anymore. That's terrible. My God, whatever will we do? How could society ever live if gays can't get married, and instead we only promote
but Andrew,
one family dynamic?
How will conservative gay men buy more babies in your world?
It's true. Well, not only that, how is it that these log cabin Republicans and the undercover gays who secretly support these gay rights agendas, there's never really been a place for them in the conservative party. In the Republican Party, sure. Conservative Party, there really has never been. And the thing is like, when you start to really take a look at the poison of saying "do as thou wilt," the kind of Crowleyan "do as thou wilt" as long as you're not harming anybody else, you'll find the same type of concept in the LaVeyan Bible, which is why if you go to the tenets of Satanism, even right now, you'll find that one of the tenets is essentially you can do whatever you want as long as you're not, kind of infringing on other people. It doesn't say that exactly. I'm paraphrasing. But you'll find this kind of message over and over and over and over and over. And what it is this. It's because there's groups of people who want the benefit of the stable nuclear family, the stable cross-generational family, and the value they bring in taxes and responsibility and duties. They piggyback off of all that security to do the most degenerate, horrible fucking shit on planet Earth. And then they say, thank you. Thank you guys for doing all of the right things while we did all the wrong things with complete impunity. That's an insane system, and it's backwards. And it's also like to just be blunt, it's retarded, right? It's a retarded system.
Well, by the way, if you enjoy Andrew, don't forget to go follow The Crucible on Rumble. And also remember how I expertly used a bad dad joke to get out of his crosshairs.
That was really good. I was
throw
impressed.
Luke in front of me.
Luke did. I feel like Luke took all the bullets there.
He
It was
did,
good
yeah.
sport, by the way, Luke. Good sport.
Yeah. I think. Hey, look, you don't survive as long as I do online. If you know how to
Not a
wiggle
good
out of
dad
things.
joke.
I have a couple of comments. Mr. Tough Guy says, every day it seems like we're turning into real life version of Wally, loveless, fat, and keep coming up with ways to get fatter. Well, yeah, I mean, we should bring back the presidential fitness standards and
He
stuff
did.
like that.
Didn't Trump
Oh, you're right.
recently?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did bring
yeah.
back the presidential fitness standards.
I've seen more fat kids. Like, I'm fat now, but I was not fat when I was a kid. And there was like, I went to the largest high school in the state, and there were like 2 fat kids in the whole school, and they got mercilessly bullied for it. Now I see endless fat kids with the iPads in their hands. It's child abuse. Parents got to do better. Iris Hardin said, I think autism is the next step to making us live in the pods and eat the bugs. Think about the number one symptoms of autism: isolation and extreme need for stability and routine. Well, that's an interesting take. PJ Strader says, my dad discovered who Andrew was last week. He asked me, I saw this guy on YouTube and he just absolutely roasts dumb women. How do you know him? Because I really like this guy. He's a big fan now. Yes, Andrew does do other things, but roasting dumb women is kind of like, you know, it's his gift. Convenient how the Trump shooter had a Demolition Ranch shirt on, and the guy shouted out Brendan Herrera. Oh, I forgot about that. That's interesting.
That what? What was it again?
The Trump shooter, the little autistic, weird-looking guy.
Uh-huh.
He had a Demolition Ranch shirt on, which was another gun YouTube channel, PSYOP. They're both shutting out gun tubers and then using guns to commit crimes. His notebook looked like Kevin Spacey's notebooks from Seven. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Dr. Dickhead says, Andrew.
Dr. Dickhead.
Yeah.
His
Andrew,
greatest Rumble name ever.
Yeah, no, we have a guy who's I can't even say his name, but I think he's been banned in just about every chat. You may see him in your chat. It's N-word bundle of sticks word combined, and I think he's been banned from. He hasn't been banned from my chat. JJ from Iowa says, "Oh, you said that." Dr. Dickhead, Andrew, heads up, your streams are fucked up. Disregard it. Fixed it by the time I read this. Okay. Well, thanks for the thank you. Mad Max, intellectual evil in the house. Wait, Jeremy, Liberty Doll told me that you messaged her yesterday to appear yesterday. Now I'm really gonna clown on you. Well, no, I'm gonna have her on. I just happened to have an opening yesterday, so I was like, hey, if you're sitting around, you know. Mr. Tough Guy, funny if you burn a Palestinian flag, Ukraine flag, Israel flag, you get called a racist. I mean, if you burn an Israel flag, you could be deported. I mean, it's, you know, but the leftists promote burning of an American flag as justice. Yeah, to not totally dodge on the flag thing, I guess my feeling of it is that if, like, I don't see myself in how many years I have left burning any American flags, and I know the type of people that do it. So, like, I kind of just don't give a shit. I would prefer that the law didn't get, like, you know, weaponized. But if it's used, you know, in isolated incidents to add a year sentence to some Antifa fuckwit that burned down a local card shop, like, I'm not going to start the GoFundMe. You know, it's going to be fine.
No justice, no peace.
That's right. Is JCCS? I don't know. J Access? I don't know. Sorry. Our founding fathers would be incredibly disappointed in us and probably would have rebelled a while ago. Yeah, there'd probably be a new United States that didn't let so many foreign invaders in and corporations to displace Americans with 60 IQ Indians. Anyway, D. Schwartzkrieg says, I think we're better off having less people who use more rights in bad faith who have no intention of wanting to walk, talk, and live like an actual loyal American. Yeah, I mean,
You ain't gonna miss him. You ain't gonna miss him.
I can dislike it and still feel like it's probably a net positive. You know, right on that fence pole's right at my ass. All right, I get it. I do want to again shout out. I want to give the folks, especially on Rumble, we have 20,000 people watching. Go follow the Crucible, and also because if you don't follow him, you won't know when he's live. Except he is live on a regular schedule on the Extravaganza with him and Thinky Face guy.
Jake Rattlesnake.
Jake Rattlesnake.
Yeah.
You used the same face on 2 thumbnails. Shame on you. You can do better than that.
Yeah, I gotta have a talk.
Actually,
with
it's
my
the same
producer.
thing. It's actually the same thumbnail.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know.
That's like burning an American flag.
I know.
All right.
I mean, this is for your business podcast.
It's terrible.
You have
We're
to
gonna
have
support you.
you have to have more wide open face mouth with semen like fluid coming out of the side of the mouth. And
That's
then-
your own interpretation there, Jeremy. You
I'm
stop
not-
your sick mind from working.
Yeah,
you
no,
perverse man.
no
Just
semen,
now.
no semen like fluid. I don't
or like rage with laser eyes. Look
Yeah,
at
there we
Betty
go.
Johnson's thumbs. They're just absolute art. The Luke and Hannah Claire though, we got one topic left. Are you okay for 10 more minutes or so, Andrew? I never really said how long you had to be
I
here.
actually,
If you
I actually got to go because I got to do show prep.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? I'll let you off the hook here. I'm sorry. I usually try to only keep people for an hour, and I was totally off my game because I have anxiety diarrhea from you coming on the show. But I appreciate your
You scared
time.
him, Andrew.
That's right.
What is this?
Yeah.
He shit his pants.
Yeah. No, I made it both times.
I
But
made it.
You better not be wearing an American flag undergarments.
the flag should not be worn. It's not.
Jail.
Yeah. I tell my wife that. She buys like American flag stuff, and I'm like, I know you don't know this, and I don't want to be that hardcore about it. It's fine. Like, she wears it in a patriotic way, but like the letter of the law.
In a thong.
She has an American flag bikini. I let that one go. Yeah, she's like, look what I got for the 4th of July. I'm like, but I love it. Looks great. Put it on. Andrew, thanks for your time. Everyone go check out the Crucible. He's going to be live in 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll be live at 5, so about an hour, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on, dude. And I'd love to have you back on again. And,
Yeah, anytime.
yeah.
No
Yeah,
problem
thank you,
at all.
Andrew. This was great. It was awesome talking to you.
Yeah,
Nice
you
to
too,
meet you.
Luke. It was nice. Well, we've met, Hannah. We met at Timcast once. I
We
think.
did meet at Tim because I didn't know if you remembered me, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to assume.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
terrible
you
with
made our
names,
day.
but good with faces. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night.
Yeah. Have a good show, dude.
See you, man. People are saying you have anoxia.
Anorexia?
No.
Is that?
Anxiety and diarrhea mixed in together.
Oh no! I told you guys before the show, I don't like using portalets. So I went to the Renaissance Fair on Sunday and I took Imodium, and so I didn't have to poop there. And
You
normally,
privileged man. Why can't you poop like the rest of us? What's wrong with you?
I
Why
can.
do you have to
I
have
just-
a golden porcelain toilet?
It doesn't even
what
have
you
to be-
can't poop like the common man like me.
it
the
doesn't
porta
even
potties?
look. I can use a public bathroom if it's clean, but the Renaissance Fair,
It's a rustic place, you
it
know.
is not a clean bathroom.
There's
And,
a lot of turkey legs that are eaten
Yeah.
there, and you know.
Yeah, so no, so I took Imodium and then I had some new supplements too, and I think something like, it like made it hyper. So I was trying to poop for an hour straight before the show, and then once it started, like, it was very painful and sucked. But anyway, this
Please
guy's
introduce a new topic.
yeah, Andrew, I saw you on whatever, most of your opinions. Jeremy is still just entry for the whole week. Oh, is just one entry for the whole week. No, you can enter every day. So by the way, we're giving away a Meta PC's gaming computer to viewers of our live show. All you have to do is leave a comment on the video and go down in the description and enter. So if you're on YouTube or Rumble, you just got to be following the channel, and then I'll pick winners daily for like smaller prizes, and then I'll pick a grand prize winner on Friday. So make sure you do that. Your link today is Mesa Fair contest. Are you sure? Have you tried it? Because somebody said it didn't work, and then I tested and it did work. It does work. There are 0 entries because it hasn't started yet, because I'm an idiot. Okay, hold please. What do you guys?
I like
Why
the
don't you guys
fact
do your?
you so honest. They're like, come on, Jeremy, we're trying to enter here.
Give me our free stuff. Setup. Okay. Go ahead and
He's rigging today, so only he can win. I'm sorry. You want us to say
8:27.
where we're from?
Oh, 12:15. No, it says it starts 8:27 at 12:15 p.m.
Yeah.
That's right. Why didn't it start? That seems odd. Isn't it after 12:15?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll just go 9:15 a.m. just for shits. And then 11:59 p.m. That's ends tonight.
I'm gonna enter.
You
I'm gonna
should.
enter right now.
You should. Let's see
It
if
says
that works.
Wednesday's winner starting soon. This contest has not started yet. When I click on the link, just a heads up.
Refresh the page right now.
I am, and it says contest has not started yet. When it's the link in the Quartering live YouTube channel.
Yeah, it works
Maybe-
now. I clicked it. Like if I go to
I'm refreshing it. I could use a new computer. I also just don't have time to set up my old computer. My old computer's fixed, but I have to do all the graphics and OBS and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm just so unhappy. I'm on the Quartering live, and I click the link, and I'm refreshing it a lot.
bit.ly.quartering/Wednesday. Oh yeah, why does it say that? It says it on the.
Yeah, just a heads up.
That's
just so
interesting.
you know.
I'm working on it
Hurry
right
up,
now.
I want to enter because I need my computer.
Yeah, that's so weird. Start.
We're gonna
8:20.
can we rig this? If I really do win, everyone's gonna think I rigged this one, and
It's gonna look really sketchy and some internal corruption for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder
So,
why. I wonder
I
why.
probably shouldn't enter because I'm pretty lucky I'm gonna win, and then as soon as I win, everyone's gonna be like, it's an inside job, and I can't deny.
There's only
a big
like
conspiracy.
If no one enters, Luke and I get the prizes for the day, right? We get to.
Well,
There you go.
let me get this
There you go.
fixed. I think maybe it's the website because like I'm visiting it and like hold on a second. So that worked. So what's going on here? Why is it not working here? I don't understand. Okay, well, let me try this. So if I go here, here's an actual link. There, now you can log in to enter. Okay. So let's go to the bit.ly link. Maybe I put the wrong URL in the bit.ly link. Try it. Hold on a second. Edit. Destination. Change to the redirect. Yep, it was the old one. Now it should work. Try it now.
Okay, Luke. Now you have to enter. He needs someone to test it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't have to refreshing won't fix it. It was just linking to the wrong contest altogether. So let me
There we
know,
go.
chat. Okay, now it's good. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, all you have to do is leave a comment, be following the channel, and wherever you are, tech support, put new link in chat, Nero. It's the same link. It's like bit.ly chat saying nope. That's not true. You're just
Says
refreshing
11
the
entries. 9 hours left.
Yeah, it is working. Mine still says not started. It works now. See, here's like the raw link. I don't know. Maybe it takes a while to update the redirect. Worked for me. Yeah, maybe it just takes a minute. Okay, it works now. Okay. All right, cool.
So you got to be subscribed to either the Quartering Live
On YouTube or the Rumble or the Rumble
and
channel.
the Quartering Live on Rumble. Do I need
Yeah.
to do anything else to enter?
Leave a comment on the video.
Doing that right now.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. I don't know, chat. Should I let Luke win? If he does need a new computer, I would.
No. You don't rig. You don't rig the system.
I said
You'd be
let you
fair.
win. I mean, if you happen to get pulled, you have to
live stream it. Yeah, when it happens,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah.
don't understand that it's
well, the
not.
grand prize I will. I just
have to-
pick.
You
I
have to
pick
bring in like a
winners
third
daily.
neutral party who doesn't have any skin in the game, and then if Luke wins, we know it's okay.
Well, I'll
You
live
draw and
stream.
Luke
in.
wins.
I'm typing in the comment. Gibbs me that.
Yeah, I'll live stream the grand prize, but all the other ones I'm just the gift cards and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, by the way, so you can only enter that day of the show, but you can enter once a day. No fun for you, tell Luke. Works.
Everyone use
featuring
my
available.
email. Everyone, use Luke at wearechange.org.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Rig the system.
Yeah,
Luke
I
at
have-
wearechange.org.
I have
Just-
1,000
should
entries
rig
for
the
Luke.
system and then complain when you win and be like, "This was rigged for Luke. How could you do this to us?"
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I probably wouldn't do it. I think what we're gonna do is for today. Oh wait. I was gonna raid Crowder, but Jimmy Dore's live. Why don't we raid Jimmy Dore?
Yeah, Jimmy's great. I had him on the interviewed him.
I love
a couple
Jimmy.
months ago. He's
Yeah.
super smart.
He's like he's watching Nick Fuentes right now, or if Fuentes is on the show. I think Fuentes might be on the show. I don't know. Crowder just rated us. Well,
Hello, friends from Crowder.
yeah,
Well, now we
hello.
gotta do one segment.
Yeah, we got to at least do another segment here then. Okay. Let's do that. And at least we can tell them to enter the giveaway. What else did we have for today's topics? I thought we kind of hit them all.
I had
Oh,
one that was Northwest. If you want to talk about her, but it feels creepy talking about children.
Yeah, yeah.
We could talk about Cracker Barrel, although I'm sure everybody has talked about this today.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel did cave, and I think that's a good thing. But unfortunately, they didn't drop their DEI, and then they didn't. They also didn't drop the redesigns. By the way, welcome everybody in from Steven Crowder. I just, we're close to wrapping up. We're not done. We got another segment here. But this is a great day to be rated because we're giving away a Meta PC gaming computer, a PlayStation 5, a Steam Deck, $70 gift cards to Amazon, Walmart, all that kind of stuff. All you have to do is be following the channel and tune into the live stream. So tomorrow, like today, you can still enter, but tomorrow come back at 2 Eastern because we're not over. We're not going to overlap Crowder. So you come back at 2 Eastern tomorrow and enter to win again. And then and then Friday, we'll pick the winner, the grand prize winner. So the only rule is that you have to be following and tuned into the live stream. And you can watch it later in the day too. So you have till like midnight to enter. So if you go down below here in the description, you can see win here and you click on that and you enter. All you have to do is to enter, all you have to do is be following the channel and tune in. And so you can still enter today's and you can enter tomorrow. Again, gaming PC from Meta PCs and thousands of dollars in other prizes. So
free
be following,
free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff blocks. The other story I had today, we talked about, did you guys talk about the N-word girl?
Yeah, we
Yes.
did.
We did.
Okay.
I just sent you one in the private chat. Apparently, FDA is rescinding the emergency use authorization for the the
that's a
COVID
W.
vaccine.
Yeah, that's a
I
big
can't
win.
believe it's still been in place. I guess we let that slide for a little bit, but that's kind of interesting. I sent you a link.
I got it. Going
That
up.
was like one of the most intense to me abuse of federal powers that I have ever seen. Like they rushed
Oh, I
that
know.
through so badly,
Yeah.
and then it was just like fear shame mongering.
Yeah, this is like, why does this login point to Facebook? You can log in with your email or Facebook, I think. You can enter with your email.
Luke at wearechange.org.
Yeah, just use you can
That's the
pick
only email.
Facebook or you can use your email. So you don't need to. So again, yeah, follow the show, tune in 2 Eastern, at least today and tomorrow, and win some free stuff, and then you never have to watch again. Although I hope, I hope you'll like the show. Luke, what do you
Yeah.
think?
This is
FDA
interesting.
rescinds.
This
Yeah.
is all on the backdrop of Donald Trump kind of patting himself on the back from Operation Warp Speed.
I know he
And
did that
now-
again.
And I'm like, but he's been doing it more and more and more. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, read the room. He's even asked a lot of his confidants, like, why are people booing me every time I talk about Operation Warp Speed? Why do you think we just got rid of COVID authorization? I mean, okay, I think there's an internal battle that's far bigger than we even understand it to be, as of course, there's a lot of maneuvers by Pfizer. Bill Gates was just at the White House meeting with Donald Trump. Bill Gates, by the way, was asked to be Donald Trump's science advisor in his first term.
Yeah.
And then he said no. And then he went on the corporate media being like, oh, Donald Trump wanted me to be the science advisor. I said no. And then he fully backed Kamala Harris. And then he got super scared because everyone was talking about releasing the Epstein client list. And now it looks like he's safer than ever. And he just had meetings and he just pulled his funds from the liberal type of mega billionaire donor fund that was financing all these radical kind of organizations in the United States here. I just did a video about that just a few moments ago, which is pretty kind of indicative here. But Bill Gates, again, being at the White House, Donald Trump toting around the COVID vaccine, Operation Warp Speed. And now we finally just got rid of the authorization of it. This is all weird timing and all kind of contradicts each other, as the CEO of Pfizer is literally doing special funds now for right wingers. And I think there's a lot of money being dangled here and a lot of internal things happening here that we don't understand.
I can't believe this wasn't one of the day one promises. Like all kinds of, impending cabinet members said they're going to do this on day one. I don't fault RFK for not saying it, but I am a little surprised that we're 8 months into this term and this wasn't something that repealed sooner. I'd rather have it repealed now than never, but it is funny that it took a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys that is getting it done, now we're going to have to see his autism report. He's got 33 days to release it by his own deadline standard. At
least we have a deadline.
Right?
Administration members and their promises never have a deadline. At least we have a deadline, which I'm kind of happy about.
Yeah, I mean it's like in the next 30 days, so it's not like he let himself off the hook with like, well, in 2026 we're going to have this report. Like my guess is the report's probably already done. And you don't say I'm going to release it in the next month, but like low key, RFK Jr. is crushing it. He's getting a lot of companies to kind of voluntarily give up their artificial dyes and stuff like that. I think Skittles did. I think some cereals have. And then obviously there's going to be some legislation, some legislation on top of this that will kind of force more companies to stop using this poison. But like, he's out there doing great PR for the Department of Defense too. He did like that thing with Pete Hegseth where they were like, you had to do 50 pull-ups and 50 push-ups in 10 minutes or something like that. So I think RFK Jr. has been great. And it seems like Trump is letting him do exactly what I hoped he would do. Like, I hoped that Trump would just say, go, do your thing. Hey, Bobby, just go do your thing. And that seems to be what Trump's done. Trump's not really meddling in Health and Human Services. He's not really getting involved like in whatever RFK's doing. And that's exactly what I hope for. Like, I just want Bobby to do what Bobby's been passionate about.
Right. It's interesting because I never would have voted for RFK for president for a number of reasons, but he is interesting to talk to. I was glad to have the opportunity to speak with him. Luke was there too at the Libertarian National Convention. But the thing is, he is passionate about passionate about health and the way the environment impacts health, the way pharmaceuticals impact health, our cultural habits, our lifestyle habits. And it seems like this is a cabinet position that is very well filled for someone who is wanting to maximize their impact. I mean, it doesn't seem like he is, even when there is bureaucracy, he really seems to battle through it. So I'm curious if this is year one, what years 2 and 3 and 4 will look like. Now, I expect him to potentially run for president again in the future. So it's not that this is totally without a thought about what his future candidacy could look like. But it does draw, I think, on the general health goals of a lot of Americans. They don't feel like our standards for food are good enough. They don't feel like we have a lot of information given to us. They want more answers about what kinds of products they're told to get when it comes to medicine or vaccines. And he has really championed their concerns.
Yeah.
So he says,
I'm
"What's your
hearing
t-"
that there's some pushback though. I'm hearing that he's not able to do anything that he wants, and I'm hearing that there's like a bait and switch, especially with big time donors that are being kind of plugged in, being like, okay, do you want RFK unleashed or do you not? And then
Yeah.
the full RFK has not yet been released. Now we got rid of the emergency authorization, but the COVID vaccine's still out there,
Right. It's
especially
like they
for
pulled it.
people at risk. Like
They're
there's
still
people
recommending
taking
it for toddlers, as far as
exactly,
I know.
which is pretty gosh darn freaking crazy. So
Well,
I still
he's
don't
also-
understand why we're doing such crazy things when clearly we're dealing with something that isn't even the same virus anymore, but we still have the same vaccine. I mean, that is just absolutely retarded and stupid.
He's also still a Democrat. Like, I know he ran as an independent, but he has a history of being a Democrat. Now he's
And
maybe
he's
not
kind
the
of a
same-
hardcore Dem too. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
married a
maybe not
Hollywood
this-
chick.
Right. He's maybe not the same Democrat as like AOC, but while I think there are very positive things happening here, I don't know that I would want a full RFK.
Yeah.
You know, personally.
So chat keeps asking. I'll say it one more time. To enter for all these prizes, okay, all you have to do is be tuned into the show. You can watch it live or before midnight, and then there's a link in the description that says like win and win here. You click on that, and you have to be either following me on Rumble or subscribed on YouTube, either or. And during the, and I pick winners during the show, and then I pick a few more winners after the show. So I pick more winners during the show than after the show. So you have a better chance of winning if you're here live. Obviously, the hope is that you enjoy the show and you stick around. But so that, and the link is in the description of wherever you're watching to enter. So it's broken in Chrome. I don't know. It's every time there's some sort of weird issues. I don't know if this app is going away that I use to pick winners. So maybe I'll try to find a new one before the grand prize winner. Yeah, and we'll see about that. But we are chat. How the fuck D-Day, man? I know you know how to enter because you're here every day. Why do they throw the butter? Why did the boy throw the butter out the window? Oh, is that a dad joke?
To see time fly, right?
But why would you throw butter out?
Oh, that's the clock. Sorry, I'm not with it. This is not my best.
Terrible.
Sorry, team. Is it to see a
goodness.
butterfly?
Oh, to see a butterfly. Yeah.
I still got it faster than you, and I'm brain
Yeah.
dead.
You are. I mean, brain dead. But
No, I am.
yeah. So today, I mean, I know Crowder basically covered all the stuff with the shooting. We're out of time. Our scheduled time slot ends. I want to see if there's any more super chats that we got to get. PJ Straight Edge says, I thought Luke and Andrew were going to have a stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends moment when Andrew brought up the seed oils? Yeah. I follow Hook Up Brother Up. That's from Steven Legacy. Well, you got to leave a comment too after the stream on the video. JC says, also, for all who say we've always been a melting pot, our founding fathers would disagree. Look up Naturalization Act of 1970. Right. I mean, this is a white Christian country founded by white Christians for white Christians. That's not even up for debate. And I know it seems like controversial to say, but I mean, I don't know. So tomorrow we're going to...
It's controversial. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap because we're over a little bit. Tomorrow
You
we're
want to
going
hang
to
out for hours?
No. Tomorrow we have Count Dankula on the show with Hannah Claire and Melanie Mack. And again, 2 Eastern. So if you're a Crowder viewer, tune back in, enter to win again tomorrow. Tim's Final Graph Star says, I'm starting to think Tim Fletcher. No, he actually is sick. I called him. I talked to him yesterday to see if I could check in on him. And he's actually sick.
Yeah, something going around. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And when you work 100 hours a week, you probably have no immune system. But let's raid Jimmy Dore.
Ooh.
Jimmy's always been a cool guy, willing to come on our show. So let's raid Jimmy Dore. Remember, come back tomorrow at 2 Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the last day to enter the giveaway. So there's that. Well, it'll be Friday. Friday will be the grand prize entry. But yeah. So see you guys. Say hi to Jimmy for us.
Come back tomorrow.
Yes, come back tomorrow. All right, cool. Doo-be-doo-be-doo. All right.